Do you know that hidden deep within the mystical forests of Ghana, the mighty Asante Kingdom wielded herbs not just to heal, but to stop bullets, silence curses, and conquer spiritual warfare? That ancient warriors of Asanteman didn't just trust in swords or muskets, but in sacred roots and divine leaves to shield their souls and bodies from both physical and unseen attacks. In this captivating episode of Black Stories Untold, we take you into the forgotten botanical vault of the Asante Kingdom, a realm where leaves whispered prayers, roots held secrets of the ancestors, and bark was brewed into potions strong enough to protect a man from gunfire and witchcraft. The Asante, more than just warriors, were deeply spiritual strategists. They knew that war was not just flesh and blood, but spirit and spell. So before battle, herbal priests, a Komfo and a Bosomfo, would consult the gods, harvest sacred herbs, and prepare powerful mixtures like Insa, Aduro, and Odumankoma Ensuo to bless and shield warriors. Today, we'll explore 11 powerful herbs once used to protect kings, fortify soldiers, and dismantle spiritual ambushes. From urban that shielded homes, to prekasa that cleared evil air, to herbs sewn into bulletproof charms. These plants were Africa's first armor. But stay with us till the end, because the final herb, used during funerals and the installment of chiefs, carries a chilling sacred power that may just leave you speechless. This is not just history. This is sacred science. Let's begin. First, Inchini, salt. Combined with herbs, the ritual shield. While not an herb in itself, salt was often used as a spiritual amplifier in Asante herbal rituals. Mixed with herbs like urban and abodweza, it was used in protective bath rituals before going to war. Warriors would wash with this mixture to render themselves spiritually invisible or immune to evil charms and curses. Benefits: wards off evil spirits. Breaks spiritual attachments. Enhances the protective power of herbs. Used in Insagware, spiritual baths. Even today, this combination is used in cleansing rituals across Ghana, especially after returning from funerals or crossing spiritually dangerous areas. 2. Iban, the plant of boundaries. Urban, scientifically known as Alcornea cordifolia, is a well-known spiritual boundary herb in Asante herbalism. It is planted around homes and sacred sites as a physical and spiritual wall against evil. In war times, its leaves were crushed and added to spiritual potions to make warriors untouchable. Benefits: protects from spiritual intrusions. Drives away witchcraft. Shields from unseen spiritual arrows. Increases aura of authority and fearlessness. A warrior bathed in an epsilon band concoction was believed to be impervious to spiritual traps set by enemy diviners. 3. Prekese, Tetrapleura tetraptera, the ancient censer. Prekese, known for its strong scent, was more than a kitchen spice. In the Asante Kingdom, it served as both a physical and spiritual purifier. Carried in war bags, it protected warriors from spiritual contamination, and when burned, it acted like ancient incense, cleansing the space before battle. Benefits: dispels evil spirits, neutralizes curses and spiritual poisons. Used in protective baths and soups, strengthens spiritual energy field. In modern times, many spiritualists still use prekasa in bath water for protection against witchcraft and jealous spiritual attacks. 4. Encontomire, cocoyam leaves, the spiritual veil. It might sound strange, but cocoyam leaves were not just food. In Asante tradition, they symbolized protection and spiritual coverage. Used during certain initiation rites, they were believed to shield the soul from dark eyes, especially those of envious peers or spiritual spies. Benefits: hides the person spiritually, protects children and warriors from spiritual harm, used in home altars for blessings. They were often included in war rituals for young warriors, especially those going to battle for the first time. 5. Yomo, neem leaves, the great disinfector of spirits. Neem, now widely used for skin infections, was revered by the Asante not just for its antibacterial power, but for its spiritual potency. Warriors would bathe in neem water to remove evil marks, suman, placed on them by spiritual enemies. Benefits: cleanses the aura, neutralizes demonic marks and charms. Used in protection oils and soaps. Strengthens the warrior's spirit before battle. Neem trees were also planted near shrines and homes as natural repellents of both mosquitoes and malevolent spirits. 6th, Duade, iron plant charm. Duade wasn't a literal plant, but it involved herbal charms created and stored in iron casings, known as duade. These charms were activated by mixing herbs like iban, prekese, and powdered roots with spiritual incantations. The final product was believed to make warriors bulletproof. Etuo enko me so. Benefits: alleged gunshot resistance. Confuses the enemy spiritually. Energizes the warrior's inner power. Gives spiritual invisibility. Many Asante warriors swore by this charm. Some even had it sewn into their garments, hidden in waist beads or anklets. 7. Osordua, palm tree roots and leaves. The palm tree held special significance in Asante warfare. Its leaves were believed to carry divine blessings, and its roots were included in potions that helped warriors escape ambushes or find direction when spiritually lost. Benefits: provides divine direction, prevents entrapment by enemies, helps restore lost energy, protects against betrayal and spiritual confusion. Palm oil derived from the same tree was used to anoint warriors and remove jinxes or harmful spiritual contracts before battle. 8. Chenchan, raffia palm fibers, the bullet blocker. According to Asante oral traditions, the chenchan plant was used by herbalists to create bullet-resistant charms. When properly invoked with herbs and chants, it was sewn into leather charms worn around the chest or upper arms. Benefits: bullet deflection, as believed by warriors. Disrupts enemy charms and spiritual surveillance. Boosts inner confidence in the battlefield. Some warriors would undergo rituals where this fiber was burned slightly and the smoke inhaled with prayer. It was believed to energize the warrior's third eye. 9. Nkrumah dua, okra plant. Unusual but powerful, the okra plant was used not for its fruits, but for its spiritual properties. Its mucilaginous nature symbolized slipperiness and invisibility, two qualities prized by warriors hoping to escape spiritual traps. Benefits: makes the warrior hard to catch spiritually. Used in bath rituals for slippery defense. Breaks spiritual chains and bondages. Women also used okra leaves to protect their children from spiritual illnesses believed to be caused by jealousy or curses. 10. Awereho, relief leaf, Bryophyllum pinnatum. Locally known for its ability to treat wounds and inflammation, this plant was also spiritually significant. Warriors who were emotionally or spiritually wounded used this leaf in rituals of emotional cooling before going to war. It gave them inner peace and clarity. Benefits: calms a troubled spirit, heals emotional and spiritual wounds, encourages bravery and self-trust, used in prayers for forgiveness and focus. This herb was often used by generals and older warriors during strategic war meetings. It helped sharpen the mind and cool the heart before making heavy decisions. 11. Nyanya, bitter god, the silent voice of the ancestors. To the Asante people, Nyanya is more than a plant. It is a symbol of ancestral presence, divine approval, and spiritual cleansing. During royal installment ceremonies, Nyanya is waved or laid upon ceremonial stools to signal that the ancestors have accepted the new chief or queen mother. Its presence affirms that spiritual authority has been passed down and legitimized. At funerals, especially those of elders and royals, Nyanya is placed beside the body or burned along the path to the cemetery. It cleanses the space, protects mourners, and ensures that the spirit of the deceased is not trapped or attacked during the journey to the ancestral realm. Nyanya is also used during sacred festivals such as Akwasidai and Adai Kese, where it marks the boundary between the seen and unseen world. Traditional priests hold it during rituals to call on the spirits or detect spiritual dishonesty. If corruption is present, Nyanya is believed to wither quickly, revealing that the ancestors are not pleased. This sacred plant is not eaten or handled carelessly. It is respected, honored, and protected. Nyanya teaches us that true power doesn't always shout. It stands still, watches, and speaks only when it must. Among all the spiritual herbs of Asanteman, Nyanya remains the most solemn, quiet yet powerful, hidden yet ever present. Herbal knowledge in the Asante Kingdom was both sacred and strategic. Before major wars like the Asante-Fante conflicts or resistance against British colonization, Akomfo, traditional priests, would consult the spirits, walk into the forests, and return with herbs for mass spiritual preparation. Special herbs were ground into powders and blown into the air, mixed into war food, eto, plantain mash, boiled into potions for bathing or drinking, burned for incense to call ancestral spirits. And today, many of these practices survive, adapted into modern spiritual traditions across Ghana, Togo, Benin, and Nigeria. Some spiritual herbalists still claim their ancestors were protected from gunshots and poison through these plant spirits. So, the next time you see a leaf, a root, or even smell the sharp scent of prekeser in your soup, remember, these were the shields, the swords, and the silent allies of warriors who stood against European invaders, rival kingdoms, and spiritual assassins. The Asante Kingdom did not rise and survive through brute strength alone. It thrived because it understood the language of the forest. In a time when a man could fall not just from a bullet, but from envy, witchcraft, or broken spirit, the Asante turned to nature, and nature rose to protect her children. Thank you for watching Black Stories Untold. If you found this story powerful, informative, or inspiring, kindly like this video. Drop a comment about what spiritual herbs are used in your tradition, and subscribe to this channel for more historical and cultural revelations. We are Black Stories Untold, unearthing Africa's sacred truths, one story at a time.